All right, welcome back. This is the practice quiz for 6-1 and 6-2 for PCM. So I'm going to take a few moments on each one of these problems to kind of walk through like we would in class. The nice thing here is you can hit pause or rewind as you need to as we go through this. So feel free to do that at any time. So the first problem here, you got a system of equations. You got to decide which ordered pairs work for that system. You can leave this as a fraction if you'd like. I multiplied by 2 simply to get rid of the fractions. I think that worked a little easier, so that's why I did that. When you check these ordered pairs, if it doesn't work, if the ordered pair doesn't work for the first equation, you do not have to check the second equation. So if we look at this first one here, when I plug in the ordered pair -3, 10 into the first equation, it does not work. 10 does not equal 48. I don't even have to check the second equation at that point. The same thing happens for this third ordered pair and fourth ordered pair. When you plug it into the first one, didn't work for either one, at that point you're done. For the second ordered pair, it did work. 1/8 actually works for the top equation. So then I have to go on and continue and check the second one. So I plugged 1 and 8 into this equation. Again, you could use the fractions. I just used the simplified version there with all fractions. Works for both. So 1/8 is your ordered pair that works for number 1. For number 2 and 3, you're solving each system using substitution. Please make sure that you're looking at that carefully. If it tells you to use substitution, use substitution. If it says elimination, make sure you use the proper method. In number 2, both equations are equal to y. So since that's the case, 3x minus 12 equals 7x minus 16. This allows me to solve for x right away, so that's what I did. And I find out that x is 1. And now I can plug it back into either one of these. I just plug it into the top to find out that y is -9. Again, when you're done, don't forget to write your answer as an ordered pair. For the second equation there on this set of problems, number 3, you'll see that the first equation here has 1y. So I solve that for y. Move the 3x over, so y equals -3x plus 11. Plug that into this bottom equation. When I plug that into the bottom equation and solve, I get x equal to 5. And then I can plug that back in. You can plug it in here, or I could have plugged it in right here. Probably would have been easier to do that. And y would be 5, -4. Okay, next set of problems, you're dealing with elimination. So let's bump this down here for a second. For the first two, notice that the y terms are equal, or they're opposites, excuse me. So if they're opposites, we can add. If they were the same, we would subtract. But since they're opposites, we added these together. So 10x is 80. That allows me to divide and get x. Once I know what x equals, I can plug it into either the top or bottom equation. That's your choice. I just plugged the top one and found out that y is 7. Again, when you're done, don't forget to write your answer as an ordered pair. Number 5, if we add or subtract here, nothing's going to cancel out, so I am going to multiply the bottom equation by 2. The reason I'm going to do that is that'll make my x terms opposites, and since they are opposite, I can now add. And we can get y equals -3, and then we'll plug that into, again, you have your choice. You can plug it into either equation. I plugged it into this one just because of smaller numbers, and x is -6. Same idea here with this equation here to the right, and I'm going to minimize out of here for just a second so you can just see the screen minus me. Oh, sorry about that, that's not going to work, but when we add here, we multiply, and that gives us opposites for y's. So the y term is going to cancel out. I divide, and x is 10, and then I can plug 10 into this equation or this one, it doesn't matter. When we do that, give me a second here, I'll extend the page, that'll work for us. When we plug 10 in for x, then I can see that y is -4. So again, If they cancel out right away, like number 4, go ahead and add or subtract to do that. If they don't, you're going to have to multiply. If you need to, again, feel free to pause or go back on these if you need a little more time to digest that. I'm going kind of quick here, just for the fact that I want to give you a 25-minute video on this. All right, page 2. The word problems. And again, if you don't have to know anything about baseball here, it doesn't matter. It could be, Bill Smith and Jim Jones, and they could be collecting rubber bands and paper clips. It really doesn't matter. In this case, it's just talking about how many home runs they've hit. So again, you don't even have to know what a home run is. So here's what we know, that the two guys combined have hit 346 of these. And so what we'll do, we'll just let X be Mike Trout and Y be Bryce Harper. And so combined, they've hit 346. So here's my first equation right here. So this sum of the two players, 346. And we know that Mike Trout has 46 more than Bryce Harper. So X is 46 larger than Y. Now that I know what X equals, I'm going to plug that in right here for Y. So you can see in this first equation right here, I know that X is 46 plus Y, so I put that in. Now I have an equation just in terms of Y, and I can solve, get 150, and then I know that X is 46 more than that, so 196. Again, at the end here, don't forget, write your ordered pair. Alright, second word problem. Let's bump this down here a little bit. Now we're going to Century here for 2-liter bottles of Coca-Cola and frozen pizzas. So we've got two different items. We'll let X be the 2-liter. Doesn't matter what the size is. It could be an 8-ounce bottle. It could be a can of Coke, 2-liter bottle. Doesn't matter. So if you just put Coca-Cola here and said 2 liters, that's fine. Y is our pizzas. And we got Jimmy here. He went and bought, we'll get our equations here. Sorry about that. 4 2 liters, 5 pizzas for $27.87. And then we have Mrs. Simpson, and she bought 3 2 liters and 2 pizzas for the $13.92. The X's are not opposite or the same thing with the Y, so we're going to have to multiply. What I did is I multiplied this top equation by 3, bottom one by 4. So I'm going to go after the X's first to get those to cancel out. And when I multiply, I get right here. Notice they're the same, so I subtracted. Some of you may have multiplied this one by 3 and this one by -4. That's okay, then you'll get an opposite here and you can add. Either way, we should get to the same spot, which is Y being 399. So when I add here, I got 7Y equal to this number. If you had opposites and added, then you'd have -7Y equal to -27.93. But again, all roads lead to 399. And then we plug that back in. I just plugged it back into this original equation. You could have used this one if you want, or either one of these two here. So I plugged 399 back in for Y, and X was $1.98. All right, our third word problem. Getting a little pizza action going here. So we got sausage, mushroom, onion pizzas, and meat lovers. And we know that Robbie bought 3 sausage, mushroom, onion, and 3 meat lovers for $107.70. Apparently he's not, either he's really hungry or he's not obeying this whole quarantine thing and staying by himself, but that's okay. And then we've got Becky here, and she got 1 sausage, mushroom, onion, and 4 meat lovers. So again, you can see that X and Y, they're not going to cancel out. So I got to multiply this bottom one. I multiplied by 3. And that results right here. Again, because they're the same, I'm going to subtract. If you multiplied by -3, then you would already have opposites and you could add. When I solve for Y, I get 1825. And then I plug that back into this equation here. So I put 1825 in for X, and X wound up being 1765. And just to make life a little easier for us here, let's do that. And then you can see I plug this one into that equation. So 1765 for the sausage, mushroom, onion, 1825 for the meat lovers. Again, please don't forget, write your answer as an ordered pair. Last one on our practice quiz here. We're back to break even, and when you break even, your revenue has to equal your cost. For Bullseye Burgers here, they're going to sell their combo for $11.75. That's our revenue. That's the money they're making. And their cost was this cost opening the second location, $186,000, plus the $7.05 for every combo. That's their cost for their food and whatever other items they have to stay in business. But that's the cost per meal. This is how much they're charging per meal. So we set revenue equal to cost. Solve this for X. Notice we get a decimal here. You can't sell 0.46 of a meal. You either sell the whole thing or you don't. So we always round up if we get a decimal in problems like this. So 39,575 combo meals is what it's going to take for Bullseye Burgers to break even. So that's your quiz. Again, if you got any questions, shoot me an email. Let me know. We'll be doing a live session too on Tuesday morning, so we can go through any of these if you have questions. Your quiz will mimic this pretty close. And so if you're confident with everything on here, you should be in good shape. All right, thanks again. Appreciate it. We'll talk to you soon.